So this morning I have decided to do a tarot reading. I follow this girl on Instagram called The Current Hermit, and she combines tarot and astrology. She came up with a spread for the full moon, and I'm going to be using her spread to do a tarot reading today. So I thought that I would bring you guys with me. So it is Saturday morning. The moon has just entered Taurus, and I'm ready to make this day intentional. So why don't you come with me first? Let's go make some coffee, and then we'll get back down to business. Oh, by the way, my name is Laura, and this is Purely Inspired Living. Come on. Okay, now that we have coffee in hand, I've got my notebooks, I've got my tarot deck, I have my pen of choice. We are ready to get down to business. Now, if you have been around before, you have probably seen my other tarot for healing video. Normally, I use this notebook for tarot readings. But since I'm doing this tarot reading as part of a lunar cycle, I'm actually using my lunar cycle notebook. I have them in two different places because my tarot notebook is for just general tarot readings, daily tarot card pulls or oracle pulls, whatever. I have this one to keep track of when I do something intentional for a lunar cycle, just so I can start recognizing themes and ideas that come up during particular signs or moon phases or whatever. And it's interesting, I was flipping through this and I was looking at some of the Taurus things that I have done so far this year, and I'm noticing some themes that are coming up again and again, or that I'm seeing parallels to now in other Taurus moon phases over the past 6 to 8 months. The video's not out yet, but come back on Monday and you will see the Woodland Wardens collective reading, and in that the theme of some religious ideas come up. And I definitely noted way back many months ago, there was a Taurus first quarter. This was back in Aquarius season, I believe. But it was a Taurus first quarter. And one of the things that came up for me then was religion. And when you come back and watch that video, you'll see that some religious themes come up in the card pool. So I found that very interesting. And so just going through this, I'm seeing definitely some themes. They are your typical Taurus themes, but how they show up in your life is how it's different from me to you. So it's really interesting that I'm seeing these themes pop up. I've never noticed them before because I've never kept track of them. So keeping a notebook or a couple of different notebooks that you do things in is a really great place to start if you're ready to start keeping track of and starting to recognize patterns. All right, so a few things first. So I've got my lunar cycles notebook. I am using a pink pen. I like to use color-coded pens based off of either the day of the week, so I have different pen colors for each day, or if there's a particular planet associated, just to start making these associations. So I use pink to connect with the heart chakra, to connect with Venus, those kinds of energies. So with Taurus being ruled by Venus, I feel like pink is the one I want to go with. Plus, I just really like pink. So, as I noted in my intro, that I got this spread from the Current Hermit over on Instagram. I'll link her information below because I did not come up with these questions. I got them from her. Like I said in the introduction, she does tarot and astrology, and a lot of times she combines tarot and astrology. So I really like her. Go ahead, go check her out. She's really neat if you haven't looked into her before. Yes. All right. So first, I didn't even say this. Thank you guys for just hanging out with me in my jammies. I don't wear a lot of makeup in general, but I have zero makeup on, which I don't normally do when I'm going to record. Just because I feel vulnerable, But yeah, here I am, jammies, no makeup, and I was like, you know what? Today's the day we're gonna get real. So here we are getting real. All right, back to the video. The questions that I got from the Current Hermit, it's for Taurus full moon in an eclipse cycle. There are 3 questions, so it'll be a 3-card draw. So 1, what energy will help me feel at home within myself? The second question, where do I need to emotionally cleanse? And 3, how can I create lasting foundations? So if you're familiar with Taurus, those are all themes that come up specifically for Taurus. So that's why these questions are most appropriate right now. The second question about cleansing, full moon is about cleansing and releasing and letting go. Feeling at home within myself, the first one, that's a very big Taurus theme, is about finding your values and finding your own definition of love. So those are strong Taurus themes, and having a lasting foundation. Taurus being the bull is all about, we've got stubbornness, but it's more about longevity. Taurus is known for having longevity. All the earth signs really are about longevity, but especially Taurus, probably because they're so stubborn. And having strong foundations is again a very Taurus idea. Again, our values are found in our second house, or usually associated with Taurus. So that's where these questions have come from. But again, I did not come up with them. So again, I'm going to link that. Check it out. Feel free to use these questions. Feel free to come up with your own. But let's go ahead and get to the reading. So as you can see, I've got some writing already down. I like to put the date. I've noted the time. Over here, I've got full moon in Taurus, a lunar eclipse, the Current Hermit. So even in my notes, I have it listed where I found this. The tarot deck that I'm using the Light Seer's Tarot, and then my 3 questions. Instagram. Okay. So first, before we get started, I've got my tarot cards out. I've got my guidebook. All the essentials are here. So first, I'm going to start by taking a few cleansing breaths just to kind of clear things out. So go ahead and breathe with me if it's safe for you to do so. Breathe in. Hold. And release. Let's try that again. Breathe in real deep, big belly breath, I like to say. Hold at the top. Release. One more big breath in. Hold and release. I always like to stretch out a little bit, roll my neck. All right, so kind of cleansed myself by, refreshing my energy with the breath work, and now I'm going to shuffle. Just finished our shuffle and our cut. So now, with intention, I pull straight from the top. Other people fan them out and pick cards. I just pull straight from the top. So what energy will help me feel at home within myself? Where do I need to emotionally cleanse? And how can I create lasting foundations? Oh. I always like to look at the bottom card, also known as the shadow card. Actually, I'm not sure if you can see that. So we've got the devil, which is very interesting. The devil doesn't mean like the literal devil. It just means temptations or kind of shadow selves or just ideas, things that we want to keep hidden, which, as you know, are very Scorpio themes. So that's so interesting. I love reading tarot because things like that happen and you're like, how in the world can that possibly be true? Because this is literally, when we're talking about the Taurus full moon, it happens during Scorpio season. This is a Scorpio theme. Like, it's just, it always astounds me. So I always write down the shadow card. And the devil, being part of the major arcana, signifies to me that we're talking underneath everything. We're talking about a bigger picture. This isn't necessarily like just for today or even for this season. I think this is speaks to a bigger soul purpose, a theme that's going to last longer, something that we're going to be working towards maybe over like a 6-month period or even a year period. Like, we're talking about a longer term idea with the major arcana. Okay, so our first one, so here we go, number 1, what energy will help me feel at home within myself? We have 6 of Swords. And I'm just going to list them first and then reflect on them. So number 2, where do I need to emotionally cleanse? The 8 of Swords. It's also interesting, so far we've gotten sword energy. And 3, how can I create lasting foundations? Ooh, 4 of Cups. I love these cards for these questions. All right, I'm going to take some time to reflect. I'm going to write down some notes. I'm going to jump in my guidebook a little bit, and we'll get back and discuss what they all mean together. Okay, as you saw, I went and I grabbed another pen. Green also is associated with the heart chakra, so I went with green. So we were staying on theme, but that's really just me that's just me setting my intentions. Okay, so we pulled the Six of Swords, the Eight of Swords, the Four of Cups, and our shadow card was the Devil card. So as I mentioned earlier, the Devil card, again, not necessarily representing the literal devil, but more the shadow self, temptations, or desires that aren't in alignment with our goals. So that's what's going on underneath, and I think that this is like a bigger scale. This is a larger scale, bigger picture than just, right in this exact moment, but a larger theme for our life. So with the Eight of Swords, a couple of words came up to me. For one, the Six of Swords represents a tumultuous time. Sadness may draw us to leave a place, and hope is on the horizon. Those are things that came to me. Here's what I got from the guidebook. This is not from me, this is from the guidebook. So moving beyond shadows of the past. Again, moving beyond shadows, so tying back into that Devil card. Trust a better future is on the horizon. What old chapters need to close? Explore fresh beginnings on the opposite shore. So our first question was, what energy will help me feel at home within myself? And it's interesting that we got kind of a negative card if you want to give these positive negative meanings. Like our whole spread here is not necessarily like a super uplifting. There's hope in everything, don't get me wrong. Like these are all very hopeful cards, but they tell us that there are shadows underneath that we need to be looking at. So what energy will help me feel at home within myself? What's coming to me is understanding that just because we're in a tumultuous time, there is hope. It takes intention, it takes recognition that we need to move on, but by being aware of that, that in itself gives us hope that we can change the future, that we can move on to a new shore. So that's the energy that we're looking for. Awareness that just because we have shadows in the picture, she's carrying a suitcase, she's got baggage, but that's not stopping her from choosing a new life for herself. The second one, I'll read the question first because I think that makes more sense. The second question, where do I need to emotionally cleanse? We got the 8 of Swords. So I got, unbind yourself, stop holding on to limiting beliefs, and set yourself free. So from the guidebook, time to unveil the truth, truth being really important to Scorpios and the Scorpio idea. So that really stuck out to me. It's an opportunity to let go of an old story. Again, tying back to this Devil Shadow card, where we are not in alignment. When we hold on to old ideas and old stories that don't serve us, that's out of alignment with where we want to go. You are a fierce wielder of choice. At first I wrote down truth. So you are a fierce wielder of truth, but actually in the guidebook it says choice. Nurture your soul and spend time you need to transmute any feelings of helplessness. So again, things are out of alignment that keep us small, those limiting beliefs. Spend time with your soul, nurture your soul, and recognize where you need to reframe your experiences as lessons and choose to heal. So what do I need to emotionally cleanse? You need to emotionally cleanse any limiting beliefs about yourself, about where you want to go, and heal your shadows. And the last question, how can I create lasting foundations? Now, again, we got the 4 of Cups. It's not a super happy card. It usually means stagnation. It means apathy. Those are not ways to create lasting foundations. So we need to go deeper into that. Okay, so if stagnation and apathy are not ways to create a lasting foundation, then what does this card mean? So I got choose to see the reality you want. From the guidebook, I love this because it gives us both an upright meaning and a reversal meaning. And the reversal, or the upright meaning was stagnation. That was what that means. But meditate, time for introspection. And this can sometimes mean there's so much stability that it's led us to boredom. The reversal is it's time to practice gratitude. So our own feelings prevent us from seeing the amazing opportunities available to us. And focus on what you do have. Spend energy focusing on what you will create in the future. So just because this card typically means, too much stability, because a water card needs to flow, and 4s are very, very stable, and too much stability in water after a while goes rancid, it goes bad, it's stagnant. So for a water card, stability actually isn't it's not helpful for that water to flow like it needs to. So we can create lasting foundations by meditating, by being introspective, and practicing gratitude. I love that it said spend energy focusing on what you will create in the future. So all of these together tell us that right now in this full moon in Taurus, we're focusing on a bigger picture of the shadows in the soul. It's not scary, it's something we all have to work through. And during Scorpio season and the dark half of the year, this is a perfect time to really reflect on these ideas. So what energy will help me feel at home in myself? Choose to move beyond your sadness and find hope on that horizon. Where do I need to emotionally cleanse? Stop believing limiting beliefs. They're not helpful to us, and you are the one keeping you there. Remember that. So emotionally cleanse by releasing your own bonds. And finally, how can I create lasting foundations? Time to go inside, do some introspective work, some shadow work maybe, and practice gratitude and focus on the future you want to manifest, that you will manifest with that mindset. I love doing tarot cards. I love having that time to really reflect. And this reading even the exact same reading can mean something a little different to my soul than it does to yours. And that's exactly what it's supposed to be. These are the themes. How they play out in your life is up to you and the reality you want to create. So I hope you enjoyed today's tarot reading. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed doing this, and we can do more things. Maybe I'll get my act together and I won't be in my jammies at 10 in the morning still. But maybe I will, because hey, you know what? It's okay. All right, friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, let me know in the comments. Go ahead and give this a thumbs up if you liked it. Even if you don't feel like leaving a comment, give me a thumbs up so I can tell that, yeah, this is definitely the content that our community wants to see. Like I said, I've talked about the Woodland Wardens collective reading that'll go up next Monday. Hit subscribe if you would like to see that, and hit that little bell notification so you get notified when that video drops. And yeah, thank you guys so much for subscribing. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. I really appreciate all that kind of feedback. It lets me know that this is the path that we should be going down. But thank you for joining me, and like, subscribe, all those things. And until next time, I hope you stay inspired.